Okay. The next problem would be, in my case, 4 over x minus 2 equals 5 over x plus 6. Now you can do this magic cross multiplication thing, and I really have no objection to it, except that people do it wrong all the time, so it's probably not a good idea. On this one, they probably do it right. On the next problem, if you try to cross multiply, you're just lost. Okay? You gotta know when. So I don't want to get into that. I just want to say, when you've got denominators, you multiply by a common denominator. How many times have you heard me say that? More than 100? Well, not yet. Okay? And hopefully I won't have to say it 100 times. Something you probably don't have a lot of experience doing though. Okay? So it's kind of new, but you multiply by a common denominator. This is cause for great joy, because it eliminates fractions. Okay? People are bad with fractions. Some of you are better than others. But people come out of our, come out of high school, come out of courses, because they can't do fractions because they've used a calculator to do fractions all their lives, except in 5th grade when you actually learn how to use it. Okay? Bad, 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 bad reflection on our national curriculum. Okay? Terrible. But you got to live with it, and you got to learn. So that's something you got to correct. You got to get better with fractions. Okay. These are fractional expressions called rational expressions. It's a ratio of one quantity over another. Common denominator. Is the product of your two denominators, x minus 2 times x plus 6. So, you multiply both sides. Well, x minus 2 times x plus 6. I've multiplied this side by this common denominator, so I've got to multiply this side. Okay? Well, it helps because people are not real good with fractions. I recommend that you write this as a fraction, so you have a numerator and a denominator, right? Now, if you've done the homework, the assignment, you're going to be very familiar with how you multiply fractions. Okay? I think coming up before next time, you've got to be able to add and subtract fractions. Okay? That's harder. You can't do what you do when you're multiplying. You've got to have a common denominator. Okay, well, anyhow, this can be rearranged as x minus 2 over x minus 2 times 4 times x plus 6 over 1. If you multiply these numerators, you get the same thing as if you multiply these numerators, right? You're going to have an x minus 2, it's just in a different place here. Well, it's actually the same place. Your x plus 6 is going to, we'll put it here because that's kind of the standard way to write it. And your 4 is here. So you've got all the factors in your numerator. They're all here. And your denominator, if you multiply out the denominators, you do get x minus 2. Just like you would get if you multiplied these two. Just kind of put the x minus 2 in different order. Okay? It's not hard. You have to understand it. Okay? And over here we're going to rearrange this. I want the x plus 6 to be divided by x plus 6. Then, what do we got left? Well, we got the x minus 2 and the 5. So we got 5 times x minus 2. And what have we got left in the denominator? Well, actually nothing, but we'll call it 1. Okay? You don't really need the denominator anymore, which is if it's 1, because dividing by 1 doesn't change what you're dividing. Okay. Still, to keep track of the numerator and denominator, it's good to have the 1 there. we'll get rid of it in a minute, because now x minus 2 over x minus 2 is 1. Then that's times 4 times x plus 6 over 1. And this is 1 times 5 times x minus 2 over 1. But multiplying by 1 doesn't change things, and dividing by 1 doesn't change things. If you really wanted, you could make this a 1 over 1 times whatever. But you understand that multiplying and dividing by 1, you just eliminate the expression for the 1. And if you need ones, you can introduce them, just as long as it doesn't change the result. Now, this is an easy problem, much easier than the first one. Everybody did, the first equation that you did, and everybody, I think, did pretty well on the first one. Oh, wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Okay, we've got to have a celebration. I'm not going to dance. I'm going to restrain myself, because if I dance, you'll never want to look at dancing again. Okay? Thank you, Raymond. And you're not taking that away from somebody that needs it, are you? I didn't hear anything. Never mind.
That's the one we were talking about yesterday. Because we ain't got no more. So
Well,
but it's laying over there.
yeah. Well, somebody needs it back, okay. But when the back order comes in, that's probably going to be in time. This will allow me to do the Zoom.
But I
Okay.
don't know what
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Really appreciate it. This is going to allow me to Zoom. Same way I do in the other room there. Most of you aren't in that class yet. No, but with magnets and metal strips and brackets, I can mount a webcam about here, so it doesn't block people's view. Some people have to look through the plexiglass. I'll probably mount it on this side. So where most people are sitting, it shouldn't be in the way. Then I'll be able to Zoom the class for people that have a good reason not to be here.